Well, hey there, it's Catherine from CatherinePooler.com, and I'm excited to create with this fantastic bundle of products. It's the Outside Your Window bundle, and it includes all the products you see here: the boxes of Bloom stamp set and dies, the Outside Your Window stamp set and dies, as well as the Thoughtful Phrases stamp set. So, I wanted to show you how to use these products and give you several different ideas on how to use them on your card making projects. So, the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the flower stamps. You can stamp these just using a stamping block, or you might want to use your Misty stamping tool. I'm going to use both in this video so you can see how they work. I'm using pink champagne, Sangria, Seafoam, and Spruce. We're going to start out with the pink champagne for the flowers, and then we're going to do Seafoam for the leaves. So stamp the blooms first, and then line the leaves up in the open spots of the flowers. So for this one in particular, I use that centerpiece and the leaf on the left because I know that goes right above that little cluster of flowers there. So if you find a couple little spots that are significant, or you know where they're supposed to line up, and use them kind of as your markers, it's going to be a lot easier for you to line these up. When using Catherine Pooler ink pads, our pads are foam, so they're squishy. And when you press down on your ink pad, if you push down too hard, your stamp will sink into the pad a little bit, and you can see you're going to get ink on not just where the image is, but the mask of the stamp as well. And then it's harder to line up because you can't see it. So I washed it off and I did it again so that you can see just a light tap tap on your ink pad will just ink up those flower and leaf stamps, and then it'll be easier for you to stamp. With the two stamp sets we're using today, I highly recommend the dies. You're going to get a lot more use out of them, and you're going to be happier with your creations. So these are the boxes of Blooms stamps. I'm just using some jewelry snippers to clip the dies apart, and be careful, you don't want these flying in your eyes. So I usually look away and actually put them down in the trash can and snip them in there so that I don't get any flying metal. Definitely don't want that. So when they're die cut, this is what they look like: the flower box and the blooms. So here is the patterned paper pack that goes with this collection. It's called Flutters Blooms. Has a fantastic color palette of pinks and purples, a little yellow and green added in there. We're going to use some of this paper on projects today, or this first project anyway. So I'm just going to adhere a 4 by 5¼ inch layer to my card base. And then I have a smaller layer. I think this is cut maybe another 1/2 inch smaller. I'll use one of the phrases from the Thoughtful Phrases stamp set. I'm going to just stamp this right below where my flower box is going to be. I think it's usually a good idea to practice on scratch paper first to make sure that your pad is inky enough, or maybe not too inky, and that your pressure is right so you get a good stamped sentiment. Then I'm just going to adhere the flower box right onto my card front. I'll add some foam tape to the blooms and adhere this right over the top of the flower box, and it is so adorable. A little bit of Nouveau liquid glue on this layer, add it right to the card front, and that's it. So a little bit of stamping, a little bit of die cutting, some patterned paper, and you've got a really fun card. So let's try this using a stamping platform. So this is a really great way to really make sure you get these flowers and leaves lined up properly, and also do a little bit of mass producing while you're at it. So I like to stamp several at one time. So I'm just stamping it in pink champagne first, and then I'm using my Sangria ink pad, and I'm just dabbing on a little bit here and there just to give a little bit added dimension and some darker flowers in there. I think it looks really cute. The next color combination, so that was pink champagne and Sangria. Next color combination, we're going to use Shea butter and then sauna. This one knocks my socks off. When I did this, I was just over the moon about it. I thought it looked so fantastic. I love the dimension that the darker shade gives in there, and it's just fun to play with different color combinations. So then we'll do one more, and I'm just going straight royal treatment, and then we'll start with the leaves. So It's nice to do this on a stamping tool because I can line the leaves up right inside the flowers. I can really make sure that it's lined up properly and then pick it up with the MISTI door, and then I can stamp all of the leaves for all of the flowers that I just stamped. And then you're going to have a bunch of blooms to add to your flower boxes. So here it is in Seafoam. And then I'm going to do that same little technique, just dabbing on a little bit of darker color on there. This is Spruce. And I think that darker color just gives really great dimension and just adds so much interest to the blooms. Love it. So wait till you see what the sauna and shea butter ones look like. So I would love to know, which of these is your favorite combo? Do you like the pink champagne and sangria? Do you like the shea butter and sauna, or do you like the royal treatment? I would also recommend another color combination that goes with this patterned paper. If you have sugared lavender and then do the royal treatment on top, that's going to look fantastic. So then I just need to take it to my die cutting machine, die cut these, and I've got all these blooms. You can stamp and die cut the flower boxes also, or I'll show you another fun technique to do with those in just a little bit. But let's look at the outside your window dies. These are shutters for windows. They're so cute. This one with the little heart cutouts, so adorable. So I'm going to ink this up with my Over Coffee ink, and I'm using my MISTI stamping platform because this is such a big, bold stamp. The chances of me stamping it perfectly the first time with a block, I don't really know. I'm not going to take my chances, so using the platform. And then I have my Picket Fence Scrubber. This is a new item in our shop. It's a new product to the market, and I love it. I love it because it doesn't come in a case. It's really easy to wash. It's got some texture on it, so it will really scrub your stamps. And it just sits on the side of my desk in a little plastic dish, and then I can scrub my stamps clean with it. And it's a really great, it's great. I love it. I can't say enough about it. It doesn't leave lint or anything on your stamps either, so another bonus. So I have these fun windows or the shutters stamped. We're going to keep them closed. I'm going to put the flower box right underneath and then add some foam tape to the blooms. And then we'll just pop the blooms right up over that flower box. And then a sentiment is just going to finish this card off. So I'm going to choose from the thoughtful phrases. I thought believe in yourself would be a nice one. First, I thought I wanted to stamp it in Spruce, but then I thought, let me do icing on the cake. I think that'll be a nice contrast. So believe in yourself, stamped right underneath that flower box. Add it to a card front, and you're all done. I love this. So another way to use the shutters, when you purchase the outside your window stamp set, make sure you get the coordinating dies. You're going to be really happy when you see how to use them. So I'm just stamping these shutters in icing on the cake, again using my platform, my MISTI, and I'm stamping it twice to get a nice, good, dark, solid image. And then I'm going to grab my outside your window dies. So on the top and on the bottom and in the middle, that is a cutting blade. And then on the sides, it is a scoring blade. So I just have a little piece of purple tape in the middle. I'm going to peel it back very carefully. When you put purple tape through a die cutting machine, it gets squashed and that adhesive gets on there a little bit firmly. So you want to make sure that you don't rip it. And then look, the windows fold back. So adorable. So if you open them the front way, you're going to see that the shutters aren't showing. So just turn your cardstock over, open your shutters to the back, and you've got a cute little window. So I'm just going to take this and add it to a card front. You can glue down those shutters to keep them open if you want, or you can leave them so that they can flop back and forth. Totally your call. So, a fun technique with the planters. So this is the Metals Embossing Powder. It's by Seth Apter with Wow. And I have been loving it for various projects, and I thought this was a really cool application of it. So I'm going to take the mixed media brush from Wow. This is embossing ink, and I'm just going to brush it right onto the planter. And I'm using the crusty copper embossing powder, and then I'm going to heat it. And then I have a metal looking planter. Genius. This is a match made in heaven right here. So I'm just going to heat it up with my heat tool. You can see that crusty copper turning to a gorgeous embossed look. And then I'll just do the mixed media brush on the other side of the planter and heat it, and I'm good to go. Now, when you're all done, when I've done this several times before, I've had a couple little white spots right at the bottom where those little divots are. And so you're just going to take your brush and brush it along the bottom and then make sure you get all of that white covered so that it looks like a metal planter on your handmade card. I love this. So in the metals trio, there are 3 powders. I did a video showing all 3 of them, I think, of Facebook Live. So I'll have to find that and link it below for you so you can see that as well. But this is a great mix of powders. You can try all 3 of these if you want and just have a lot of fun with it. So I'll adhere the planter right under the window. And then this is the first time I've used 2 sets of blooms on a card. I've made several cards with this set of products. Usually you just use 1 set of blooms. I thought, hey, let's use 2 sets. And I think it looks pretty terrific. So the first set is the bigger set. I'm going to put that behind. I'm going to add foam tape to it and just adhere it right up in there in the window. And then the yellow set of blooms, I'm going to adhere that so it's kind of more in the forefront. And here is a time where you can learn from my mistakes. I know better than this. I thought it needed a sentiment. So the outside your window stamp set has 3 different sentiments in it. All great sentiments to go with these shutters and the open window, and wake up feeling blessed, I thought was a nice one. So yeah, don't do this. So I just grabbed another piece, just a scrap piece of cardstock that was on my craft desk and stamped it again and then cut it down with my haberdashery scissors, and it was a pretty easy fix. And we're just going to pretend that I meant to do that. I meant to have the sentiment on another piece of cardstock just adhered right on there. So all of these products pop in the shop on April 29th. And you can purchase this as a bundle at a discount, or you can purchase the items a la carte. Again, I highly recommend buying the bundle because then you'll have all the pieces you need. Although you can see that you can use this without the dies. So just create a whole background, add on a sentiment, and you're done. But you're really going to have a whole world of possibility open up when you add the dies as well. Fun, cheerful cards. Here is one that I added the garden's edge die on the bottom, and then just the flower box sitting right on top. I think that's a beautiful way to use it. Here is one where I used little flower sequins from the Mission Sequin mix to add some shine on there. Here are a few made by one of our brand ambassadors, Natasha. So she used some little, I think she might have used a Copic marker or maybe just a watercolor marker and added some stonework on there. I think that's fantastic. And a little piece of lace, great idea. Flowers just stamped on the inside right there. So many ways you can use this set of products. So I hope you'll leave a comment and let us know what you think about this bundle of products. I think it's really fun, and I think you'll enjoy creating with them. Thank you for being here. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you again soon.